Women have been marching for equal rights for hundreds of years. And today, women continue to bring important issues to light, like equal pay and gender and reproductive rights. Meet Penny Young Nance. She is the CEO and president of Concerned Women for America. She says there's a right and a wrong way to respond to these difficult, hot-button issues facing our culture today. In her book, Feisty and Feminine, Penny reveals who is really waging the war on women and gives a rallying cry for us to speak the truth about things that matter most.
Well, Penny Young Nance joins us now. You do get involved in some hot-button issues over on the cable networks. That must be difficult.
Well, sometimes it is, but, you know, I feel called to it. So, you know, God doesn't strand us. If he calls us to something, if he gives us the ability to do it, thankfully.
I've seen you in some pretty intense debates.
Yes.
Sometimes you must just want to scream.
Yes, I do. But I'm that woman that, you know, either I would be on television speaking or at home yelling at the television. So I'm fortunate to get to express the view of, you know, our 500,000 members around this country. They're women of faith, they're conservatives. I am so blessed to get to go forward and either in Congress and in media express their views and speak for them. And
you say conservative women have an Esther moment ahead of them right now. What do you mean by that?
You know, I believe that we are at a tipping point in this nation. You know, I think that we are at a point where God is really calling out women of faith to take a deep breath, clear our throats, and to lean into these hard conversations. And I use in my book the example of Queen Esther. And by the way, Esther didn't just rush in, right? She prayerfully, she prayed and prepared. And she prepared herself for the conversation. And that's why I wrote the book, to give women the tools they need, the information they need, so they can confidently come into these hard subject areas armed with facts. Because, you know, listen, we believe in Scripture. We believe in biblical worldview. Everything we do at CWA is based on biblical truth. But we have a world that is post-Christian that does not believe in the validity of Scripture. So we have to go beyond that. And because Scripture is true, we have so many other areas, science and information and statistics, that we can draw from to drive those points home in a way that people can understand it and receive it.
Culturally now there's a great push, perhaps rightfully so, to empower women.
Yes.
Do you think as a result of that, though, there's also been a devaluing of women in some ways? Well,
yes, sadly, and sometimes even by ourselves. I mean, you know, the pornification of America is hurtful to women, and particularly younger women. We've seen women as young as, you know, as preteens struggling with anorexia and bulimia and pornography and all these other issues. Like there are some serious issues at stake. And then you hear the rallying cry from the left of there's a war on women. You know, as women who believe in real war, who understand that women around this world, Christian women, are being raped and sold and abused at the hands of jihadists, we take great offense of that. We can disagree, and we should disagree. We must disagree, but do it respectfully and thoughtfully. But our views matter. Our views should be valued, and we are called to speak truth. And so this is our time to do that. I'm calling women to account. I'm calling us together to join together and prayerfully come together to fight on our knees, and then to get up and to speak truth, whether it's to Congress, whether it's to our neighbors, whether it's to our school communities, in protection of our children. We must do this.
You've made a link between political correctness and sexual assault of women. What is that?
Well, I speak in the book about my own experience. You know, as a younger woman, I was expecting my first child early on in my pregnancy, and I went for a run, and a complete stranger attacked me and attempted to rape me. And God provided a way out. A woman came and stopped and got involved. She was my angel. But many women didn't have that happen, and I don't know why I was protected, why I wasn't raped, and that's part of that survival guilt, by the way. But it has given me a platform to speak for women who have been assaulted, and the numbers are horrific. And people disagree about the numbers, but it doesn't matter. It's a large issue. It's an issue on college campuses, and so we need to understand what's really at stake. Of course, it's sin, but it's also crime. and we have to deal with it as crime, and not just a political issue. And sometimes, you know, victims are used as political pawns, and that's wrong. And in the book, I give some real important things that need to be done, like the clearing up the backlog of DNA rape kits that are sitting around this country. Victims are not getting justice, even though we have spent hundreds of millions of dollars.
Why are they sitting?
It's a problem within the management of government. Some states are starting to come along. We had the Debbie Smith Act that CWA worked to pass in 2000 that gave money to the states to clear up the backlog. And it's, you know, this is a longer conversation, but I address it in my book. We're talking to states' attorney generals around this country. We're foraying states to find out what the backlog is. But that's a basic role of government, right? To protect victims, protect the safety of victims. And so we need to do what we have said we are going to do, and this is the very minimal thing we can do to protect women.
You're very outspoken, very bold, very passionate, yet a big part of your book is the power of prayer. Mm-hmm. How important is that to you in your life? It's
essential. It's everything. You know, I am as a young girl, I came from Appalachia. My dad was a pastor. Everything I have, everything that the Lord's given me to do was directly through Him and through the power of prayer. I was called to do this work, could not do it without Him, and I am literally on my knees before Him daily, asking for His power, for His wisdom, for His discernment. I'm a weak vessel. and you know, and thankfully God reminds me that those are the ones that He is able to use. And so I would appreciate the prayers of your viewers as we walk out this journey at Concerned Women for America. We are American women shaping history. We are your voice in Congress, at the state legislatures, in your school board, in media. But we certainly need your prayer, because this is a war not against flesh and blood, but against powers and principalities of this present darkness. And so this is real. The struggle is real. We are taking back ground that Satan has won. We're fighting for the least of these. We're fighting for the unborn. And we need your prayer. This is a time for us to come together, to join together. And we can make a difference. We can save lives. We can abolish sex slavery. We can protect Israel. We can make us a more unified nation. Let's do this. Let's do this together.
Well, you certainly are making a difference. And Penny's book is called Feisty and Feminine. That's a title we won't forget.
Yes.
Did you come up with that title?
Yes, well, together with other people, but yes. It's a rebranding of women. Like the conservative women are that, you know, as opposed to what the media wants to say we are.
Yeah, well, it's a great book, a rallying cry for conservative women. You can pick it up wherever books are sold. Thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you. Thank you, Andrew.
Appreciate it.